maybe you let AZK run free on Sage a little bit more, going to maybe even a breach like he showed us before it was really the Sova play and the Sage play coming out of Mr. Skadoodle. I want to see this T1 squad just go back a few pages. I feel like they've always tried to be ahead of the game. They're scrimming so hard. They're putting in so many hours on top of hours trying to perfect their gameplay. They've only played in 4 tournaments. Fortunately, we get to see them again in the Ignition Series. This is your final Ignition Series in North America. Make it a strong finish. And how do you play around EU? Well, it looks like they're going to give him the Brimstone, and it will be AZK moving to the Jet, something I did not expect to see.
Not going to front. I'm kind of digging that. I like AZK on Jet. All right, on the other side, we're not seeing anything all that out of the ordinary for them. Asuna's going to be playing his trademark Raze. Dicey will be playing the role that he's been brought onto this team to establish, which is the Jet Op, so look out for him. This battle between AZK and Dicey is going to be quite exciting to see come to fruition. And also another thing, Brax is playing Sova, and Crashies is playing
on the Cypher. That's what I wanted, baby.
Ooh, this is spicy.
All right, can I change my prediction? I think it's going to be a 2-1 T1.
You can't just change it when the match starts with the information.
I just see the comps.
All right, well, out of the break, we're already going to get 2 players down on each end of the spectrum, as Food's going to back away. He's got 22 HP to work with and just needs to get back into the comfort here of Elbow. 3 players are there. Looks like they're focusing on this B-side pucket. They get the orb. Nicely done, because that is going to just get them a little bit closer to getting some of those ultimates online. Oh man, Brax gets tagged big time there with that shock dart. Ends up dying there courtesy of JC Stani. Food inside of the dark cover as that player goes in for the transition. And he actually gets the Spike player down. That is going to leave only Crashies to deal with this, but Asuna jumps right into his face and ends that round as quickly as it started.
Yeah, nice wall spam there from JC Stani, just shooting the container, finds the heady, and Brax goes down. As soon as Brax goes down, it becomes a whole lot easier in the 3v2. Immortals, a little iffy start there, but they regain, they take it back over, and B was on lock. Now they've got the weapons, and already looks like Phantoms coming out. Asuna, definitely going to be a player to watch for me. Keep eyes on this Raze on the next attack.
Now they want to put some pressure on Belong. And I do like this setup from Food. He's good for at least 1. Also will have the nades to cause some problems too. And even though he has to disengage from that position, it's okay, because, you know, wasted a nade, wasted a boombot. A lot of that explosive utility is going to be going bye-bye there for Immortals.
AZK is getting tagged up, already down to 16 HP, and as he peeks, that is going to be a double for Gangsta. The Ares is clean. Rotation from the back. EU going to try and buy some time. Wait for Brax to get in position, and of course, you've got Crashies all the way across the map here in a 1v1. Put it down. That's a big transition kill. You got a Bulldog now to work with.
The question remains, though, what is he going to do with that as he probably joins his teammates on back defender side? But he's so weak. No real options. Brax, despite it, though, being stuck in a corner, does manage to get the kill. Both of them kind of stare at each other awkwardly for a moment. Some more kills, maybe? Doesn't really work out. Crashies gets picked there by JC Stani from the distance, and that will be 2 rounds clean for Immortals out of the gate here.
Immortals with their shock bolts and the grenades from Asuna have been incredible. Gangsta locking it down with the Ares after doing the initial damage on the Jet. But now we got a fairish fight. Let's see what's running here on both sides. I assume we've upgraded, as I see just the Ghost on JC Stani. Okay, so maybe not this round. We'll see what the plan is as our players are stalling out for the moment. So it's going to be a very weak buy for the Immortals against the full buy a glass cannon on AZK, who's running that Jet today.
And he got a little aggro here. If they get the kill, the jiggle there. Oh, man. And the benefit of that, and the worst part about being a Sova, is that cape is always going to reveal where you are if you're trying to jiggle out of that. Food is getting aggressive here, just trying to shut down any of the information.
Perfect
He's hearing
timing.
that footsteps too. Very well done. They know Belong is going to be cleared out. Now, they haven't really gotten much work done on A site. They've just been playing their positioning, waiting to see if... Well, I was going to say, waiting to see if the Cypher decided to get up into the site. Ends up paying for that with his life. And this is a beautiful defense here for T1, desperately looking to get a round win. And AZK continuing to hang out here. He gets one more kill, but he ends up not being able to secure that. Op is now down, but Food is there to receive. And they'll get that op right back for their teammate.
Yeah, I mean, only dropping one player and you grab his operator, that's about as good as it is going to get for T1, and he's going to drop that right back down for AZK. Here's a look at how it all started. Sova mid-air cleaned up. AZK doesn't give him a chance to do any damage, and Food lurks his way down for the pick. Now, one of the issues that I have with Dicey, he's a new player, I've been watching his VODs, been tuning in for some of the scrims, is sometimes he's not always aware of how much noise he's making on the map, or maybe there's some gaps in the areas that he should be watching. I think there he got a little aggressive, tried to sprint away thinking no one was near, and Food was able to punish him early.
Paranoia is out. AZK will just need to bail out of this one, and does in fact pop Cloudburst to slow down any kind of push that is happening here.
You just let him come in and rocket him in the face. Asuna is going to pick up the first, but Food is there to trade. Not as big of a boom as I expected. The Hunter's Fury continues to do damage, and EU finds JC Stani for T1. So you're looking at a 3v3, Golden Boy.
Question is, what kind of information now are they going to be able to pull out of this? And Crashies was the first one to initiate contact. Unfortunately for him, Dicey had the read on him, and Dicey shot. I mean, he may be making a lot of noise as that Jet, but he's making the right kind of noise. He's hitting all the shots. Now it's going to be up to Brax, and they played this one nicely. They backed up, even though they did not have that spike. In which, you know, honestly, like, if I'm Brax in that instance, I know that he's going to be a little cautious about who's pushing up there. But they did have Spike and Hookah, so they really didn't need to try and challenge that.
I think you just now learned we need to respect this new kid. Dicey can flick. The man hit two big op shots in that
FaZe,
round.
he was incredible, Puckett. Like, he was a superstar. Everyone was going nuts for him. I went into the chat one time, and I think people just started crafting their own memes for Dicey. It was a thing of beauty, and it doesn't shock me because he's been bringing something to the table for Immortals that they desperately needed. Even though Asuna has been an elite fragger for this team, so many times bailing him out of situations, what they were sorely missing was the use of an op Jet player, which has become the norm. And he's doing that so well. It's the reason why you're seeing AZK play this right now, because it's so vital. Now, AZK did get the note that JC Stani was there. Saw him at the tip of the screen. Unfortunately, though, was not able to flick onto that next player there. But Asuna jumps right in with the rocket. That's going to open up the site for them. EU's not going to be outdone, though. Spike down at Hookah.
And that was a dry peek there from EU. He just comes running and gunning, drops Asuna to keep this spike off of B. So they've bought time. 50 seconds left on the clock, though, for the attackers, though, as Immortals will be on the rotate over to A. Lots of Cypher traps in their way, but only one defender here in Brax.
And they know that they're going to be here. Brax just got that note from the trap wire. He's going to wait from the plant, wait for his teammate to get here so that they can try and tackle this together. And of course, they were not going to be aware. Kohler had no idea that one was inside of Lamps. Now Dicey gets cut off from that Brimble. Here's the other thing, too. They have Orbital Strike if they actually want to take advantage of it. But Gangsta's now going to have to push up because of this. There goes the Orbital Strike. It's out. He's going to get roasted.
Okay, EU. If this is a trial, I give you 2+ for that round.
Well done. Give two stars?
It was a great smoke. You cut off short A. You threw the molly deep, forcing him into your Orbital Strike. Perfect Brim play, but it comes down to these early picks. AZK able to hit the first headshot. Asuna doing some work, but it was EU taking it back over.
And they didn't clear that, so they just had no idea where he was going to be. And Brax just allowed them to be able to win that round outright. I mean, granted, yes, they did use the Orbital Strike, but they had two players looking over there. He just wanted to ensure he got the job done. Now,
get out of my way.
As we jump into round 6 here, AZK playing aggressive on A short, quite like this, but all the activity is going to be taking place at B.
And it's going to be a bit of contact any moment. Asuna saying this is way too quiet. What is going down here in Hookah? Already Food is backed up directly down to his left. Brax is going to get some info here with the Hunter's Fury as Food converts it into 2 kills. A third for Food with the Phantom before finally falling, but it's just one player left. Asuna versus 3, and he will not get much done as that operator is going to be picked up again. T1 continues to score after a hot start from IMT. The Immortals shut down as it's T1 taking this one back.
Hunter's Fury is so great in that moment too. On long, your options for movement severely limited. And then furthermore, they also had EU on a full flank. So even if they were not able to secure any of the kills there, maybe they slowed them down. Throughout all of the commotion, EU waited for the prime opportunity to go in for it. It's actually quite impressive how he's already incorporated into this lineup. And just the role switches that we're starting to see. Granted, yeah, AZK is not going to come out of the gate having like a Wardell level performance on Jet with an op, but it's okay. Just so long as he's doing his job, you're okay with it.
Get the first bloods, keep your opponent guessing, make enough noise to scare him off sometimes is good enough.
And it's still early too. Like, for all we know, AZK is just like a low-key god on Jet, you know?
You ready for a big Crashies round? I loved watching this man on Cypher early in the game. He is in a prime position with the bait from Brax. He can do massive damage here. Does he get the opportunity? Omen trying to flank. Brax shuts it down with a quick flick, finds Asuna, and now EU chimes in.
Unfortunately, we'll get cut down to size, and the Neural Theft is going to reveal some of these positions here. Rocket is good. Food connects onto JC Stani. Now we're going to get that set up. But where's the post plant here? Where are the options at? Brack's still alive. That's a problem. And Kohler had to handle that one, and they managed to do so. IMT will finally pick up a round win after losing a few there.
Nice work by Kohler, clutching up with the last 2 kills. He always seems to be the last man in, but also the one you can trust to clutch. A 1 versus 2, a retake scenario. The Cypher doesn't have the best kit to throw people off in those scenarios, but he's good with the shot and was able to pick up both there. We'll see him off the start, though. Is he going to start getting aggressive? Because one of my notes on Kohler is this is a passive guy. You can almost kind of predict the way he's going to play throughout these games.
And the predictable setup here is to play the Lurk. Will actually not be able to contend for this, or because he gets pushed back. The recon was there. AZK though now, oh, nicely done. AZK, a kill on Asuna is going to give him an opening to pick up that weapon, but he gets tagged up. Oh dear, there goes that Hunter's Fury too. He needs to bail out of it, but Gangsta, they knew exactly where he was going to be located. He gets 2 for his effort there. AZK and Food go down, making it into a 3v3 now.
I know
that is so big by Gangsta. You know you've got him pinned in hookah, but he makes the shots count, and he shuts down the Blade Storm from the Jet.
They're getting so much intel as to where they are right now. I wouldn't be shocked if they just full prioritize short here.
Those Brim boots are pretty noisy. Dicey knows exactly where they're coming from, and now he's got at least more info as he hears the Sova drone. Spike's going to be planted, and there it goes. Crashies is going to hit the quick teleport. Going to try and come on a long flank, it looks like. Meanwhile, it's EU working with Brax. Can they clutch up on the A-site retake?
He's going in for lamps, potentially. Crashies is back to join up. There goes the first kill there. Dicey finds it, and I like the fact that it just pulled the attention away. Crashy's still going to be a problem, but he basically got caught holding his webcam, and that will be a clean hold there for Immortals. A good post plant. They took the positions they needed. They also had one in heaven because they were confident. They heard all the boots. They knew all the movement that was happening, so they safely managed to take an elevated position and give themselves some coverage. That plant, too, was great because it exposed them. They had no choice but to try and push for that. This was unfortunate, too. He had nowhere to go.
Smoke is really what cost AZK. After watching that one back, Asuna was able to pink his information to Gangsta, immediately shuts it down. So EU just on a stinger. A ghost out for Food, as it is going to be a very cheap buy coming in here from T1. They're hoping for short-range engagements. You can see everyone playing very tight at short A. Meanwhile, a double stack in hookah with just Brax holding long B.
They do not want to give up hookah at all. But as they continue to make some progress here, and a double TP actually is going to force the hand of Asuna. No shots connected, though. JC Stani had his buddies back. And there goes Gangsta for 2. Asuna just was not able to nail those shots, but he had two teammates there that were pretty much covering that cross. They went right in for that TP. Now Fu's just going to be left alone. I like the ambition to try and just force a play when your buy isn't that strong. Catch maybe one or two players that are getting slow, creeping on Hookah. It just ends up not really happening here, and here we go as Immortals. Let's take a look at the buy now.
I was going to say, their bank doesn't look too huge, but it isn't awful at this point. And honestly, I really like this transition from Immortals. You went from running an operator, trying to work around those picks from Dicey, to just giving him a Phantom. And with the Phantom in hand, he has been contributing so much more. He can be around the map. He's finding headshots at short range. He's peppering at long range and just always has a teammate there to trade. So I'm keeping my eyes on this Immortal squad. I feel like this is what, their second Ignition Series event, their third total working with this young man, and it is really paying dividends early on.
Yeah, this roster has just been brilliant as far as understanding their weaknesses, and I think that also goes down to a little bit of the management and the coaching too. Like, there's just been a different system implemented for Immortals that has benefited them greatly. Maybe some people aren't too much of a fan of it if you come from a traditional CS background. I've spoke about it at great length before about the trial kind of system that Immortals ran with, and we're seeing that value really come to fruition here for Immortals. Every event that they play, they get better. Every event.
Every day they practice, trying to improve something small. And so far, their trades have been really clean. That's what's been most impressive to me, is when they're in a position to take damage, they're also in a position to have a second player dishing out damage. You see that with the Sentinels. You see that with the top teams. No one needs to be a hero to win rounds. And we'll see what they can put together here. Already a 6-3 start on your attack. It's going to be your favorite defense coming up next. You got to be feeling good here. If you're T1, though, pull out 3 more. Your first 3 came back to back to back, finished the same way, and now you got guns to do it.
So some aggression on A short will give them a little bit of intel, confidence to be able to try and push up on the flank. EU, watch out for him. Shades of what we saw in that last round where EU did the same thing. On the opposite end, too, Cypher lurking, I think that what's going on right here is it's really just an information play on the opposite side, and they haven't really found anything. But that kill from Asuna is going to give them some confidence now to be able to push up on B. They know that everyone's going to be stacked up here. They just saw that 1 kill come through. They also just got that Hunk's Fury. Crashies is now going to go down. The rocket doesn't connect, but you called it before, Puckett. Dicey. He's been great and surgical with that Phantom, and it's been working out very well for them.
He worked off of Food perfectly. Food made the distraction. Dicey scored the kills. EU, though, still has his orbital strike. 2 players on site, but will it land in time? Looks like just as smoke comes down. And AZK, last man standing, sees the tip of the head and finds Asuna's face on accident.
Yeah, totally by accident. He saw the bun, and instead he ended up getting the face of Asuna. That was unfortunate. But Dicey again. He's going to secure himself a few. Now they'll have an op to work around with. Thank you so much to T1 for that.
And he can still play aggressive. You have your Blade Storm available. So if the whole team wants to come in on the site, you can pop it at any moment for Dicey. Here's a look at how it all started. After 20 seconds of lurking, Asuna finds the first. JC Stani combining for a kill over at B. And then you saw AZK trying to line it up on the jet in the back, and Asuna just intercepts it.
With his face.
Gotta love that, you know? Take one for the team. Asuna ain't a stranger. All right, here we go. Recon bolts from both sides. The defensive one from T1 gathers way more info. And it's just gonna be 2 players here as the triple stack was aggressive at Showers. So T1 playing from the back foot as Immortals are able to get the first pick again. How good has Asuna been? He's only 8 kills in the feed so far, but they're the big ones, the ones that open up the site.
Yeah, he's been winning his hookah battles. Credit to him to be able to secure those big kills that allow them to take site cleanly like this. Remember in the last few rounds, right? T1, they were stacking 2 on Hookah because they knew the importance of that round, of that location on the map. Now we're going to the last round here, and it's been a few rounds here that Asuna's kind of just abused it. He's gotten inside of it. T1's allowed him to, and I don't think the smart play is to allow Asuna to take control of Hookah. You can't let him get inside of there. If you do, it's going to be a problem.
You got to credit JC Stani, the new in-game leader as well. Remember, he took a seat to learn that in-game leader role, to perfect his agent hero pool, kind of like we're seeing Skadoodle right now. He came back stronger than ever, and he's been the guy clearing Hookah. His paranoias have freaked out the defense. They have forced everyone back, giving space to this Raze. Asuna trying to take space once again. And that lurking paranoia always threatening, already T1 backing out. But they do have 4 players stacked up at this B site, and they're going to hear at least action from 3 different agents in this direction from the offense.
And just look at the amount of pressure that they're putting on Hookah and the amount of respect that they're giving Immortals. They've given up Hookah because obviously they got pushed out with paranoia. They also just didn't really have the clearance that they wanted there. And although Asuna will win it, they still have 4 bodies stacked here over at B.
I said it was going to be 2-1 T1 in this series. I expected their defense on Bind to be way stronger after seeing the composition, but Immortals, they are putting together these rounds and they are just forcing their way down long B. A rocket coming out from Food, but doesn't land close. Dicey's punished in the air with the operator again.
And he gets out of there with the tailwind. Oh my word, I love it. Okay, so a little bit of a problem here as some of the ults are going to be used for Immortals to gather some information. Don't really get much out of this one. Brax inside of the garden. He does have some support to be able to help him out, but Brax won't necessarily need it as he gets 2 kills out of that. Rotation's starting to come through, but 2 kills for Asuna now. Waiting for that plant. They just have to delay it as much as they possibly can.
He's got the tools to do it. Molly isn't going to find anybody, but a great prediction. Able to push up onto the site, trades out 1 before falling down, but it's 9-3 attacking half for Immortals. This was their map pick, and boy, are they looking polished. Just 4 rounds away from locking this one up. And if you win the pistol, you got to think there's almost no way T1 comes back in this game.
Yeah, these next 2 rounds are going to be critical. This round in particular is going to be the most important round of the game. T1 have a chance, but it all starts with this pistol. And you are going to see some caution from T1. They're not going to play this one recklessly. We'll see how they're going to be able to pull this one off.
And I want to give big credit to Kohler. I kind of highlighted that he was a passive player. That doesn't mean a bad thing. He played so well on the attack, watching his teammates back. But what is he going to do on defense? Keep your eyes on that Cypher far right of the mini-map. I think he is going to be a key to their defensive success for Immortals. On the attacking side, I got my eyes on Food. The guy on your screen right now, he went full kit, blast pack, bomb buddy, grenade ready.
Here's the early play around the bot. He's going to play around the bot and actually force him back. Oh, that was so smart from Asuna. That was brilliant. When the nade came through, Asuna was not even worried about it because he knew that with his boom bot, he can just force away that rival player, the rival Raze, and he would be none the wiser to it. But AZK and Brax, I mean, their shots are just so nasty.
The boys have always been able to aim. We've known that since iBuyPower days. JC Stani going up against a very weakened Food is going to find EU first and then goes for a second challenge to drop AZK. So just like that, it's going to be a 2-on-3 winnable retake with the spike just being planted. Kohler punishes the window. Excellent shots here.
Kohler does not get tagged by the recon. They still think he's actually going to be located by the doorway, and because of that, Kohler's going to profit, but Crashy's on the flank. Oh no, Crashy's! He shot the first one out. It did not connect. Gets 29 HP. He's going up against a very healthy Sova.
You got to be so scared of a potential shock dart, and there is going to be the fake and the finish after getting into halfway. Gangsta clutches, and you said it. T1 needed that round. Immortals, they want to get this map finished with. They are now 3 rounds away, and they've got big guns here in round number 2 to work with if they want.
I think EU jumping on top of Hookah to reclaim control of it also was a bit of a death knell for them. Had they just continue to play around site. I mean, there's a variety of things that you could probably call to. I think it came down to a 1v1 in the end. Both teams played that as well as they possibly could. Now we're going to be looking at a situation for T1, if you are a T1 fan, where you know they're going to have to dig themselves out of a very deep hole. and Dicey has an op available. He did see one player on the cross. They're actually going to send this one full. Does get the kill there with the Marshal. Looking for another one. Doesn't happen, though. A few more kills are going to go in favor of Immortals, and there's the burst with the Bulldog 1v2. It's going to be this new pickup for T1. Time to earn that money.
Yeah, get out the notepad. It's time to learn about EU. How do you hold yourself in a 1 versus 2? How do you handle the pressure? Grenade is now gone. You know your exit is going to be watched. You've been spotted, and they've got the better weapons. Honestly, not a ton he could do there. Did have a molly, but decides to save it for the next round. T1, no success on the attack so far. The trades are just cleaner from the Immortals. That's kind of expected, though. This is the real round, Golden Boy. This is where we finally get to see what T1 has in the playbook on the attack.
True, but you know, not to discredit what happened in those first 2 rounds. I mean, those were so important for Immortals to close this game out, and T1 knew it. I think that this now is I don't want to say it's a foregone conclusion, but with the way that Immortals are playing, the op play, everything, the defense, it's all working out in their favor. They're rotating this op around sites as well. It all depends on whether or not they want to get aggressive here. A hookah hold for Asuna.
Yeah, keeping kind of the standard. JC Stani working with Asuna. That's been the duo on offense. It's been the duo on defense. Little Cypher battle goes down as the cameras get dropped over in showers. It's going to be Crashies over there trying to lead away onto A. Meanwhile, the rest of his team stacking up in mid. Lots of utility being pushed into hookah, drawing the attention before they start to walk this spike back. T1, they love to get weird with the portals as well. Would not be surprised to see a late portal rush over to the A site. But Crashies has not cleared any of the equipment yet from the defenders.
And that camera too, that's an unfortunate cam, because now he cannot comfortably push that without revealing that it's really just going to be him all by his lonesome. So they're just going to have to go and send this one and make a play happen. While the paranoia is out, a few players that are going to be caught in a scuffle inside of the garden. And JC Stani continues to linger about here in hookah. Does have the support of Asuna. They do get onto the B side, but it's not going to be the safest position.
And Food is down to like 3 HP here. He's going to go down. Not before EU does some damage in the back. Kohler's still surviving, and this is where he caused chaos last time on the retake. Working with JC Stani, excellent teleport is going to keep him out of danger. The double peek as Kohler is going to finish that one, and now it is a 2 versus 1. Crashies last man standing, trying to protect against this defuse, and it is going down.
Yeah, he stuck that one. The moment that the neural theft went out, he had the confidence to hold it, even though they both ended up dying there. Just a smart play. Now it's going to be match point for Immortals here on their map pick of Bind. Not all that startling, given that T1, they are playing with a pickup player from the T1 Academy roster. And I don't really particularly think that it was EU, like, you know, playing bad, quote unquote.
No.
Like, I actually don't even think it was that. I think it's honestly just that Immortals, they are starting to get more and more comfortable with this roster, which is scary for everyone else that they're going to be facing off against in this group.
And Dicey is doing work. The solo plays on the Jet are paying off. He's at 14 and 9. JC Stani working so well with Asuna, who's at the bottom of that leaderboard, but I guarantee he has done massive damage when we take a look at the post-game stats. Brax lighting up with the Hunter's Fury to get it started, but no one dropped, no one even injured.
He bails out with the teleport, JC Stani. So the orbital strike does no damage, gets no targets. They're just going to have to play for the retake here. Crashies has the connection. That nade's going to force back some players. Crashies got ambitious on that push, and Asuna ends up getting 3 kills out of that. I mean, oh my goodness, Puckett, you wanted him to go online, you wanted him to pop off, and he does so right at the final moments. That's going to be Immortals walking away with the win. Be careful there, you know your explosives, they do damage.
He's like, yo, I got some good stats. Let me get a better one. Give me that defuse. They give it to Dicey, and that is it. Golden Boy, 13-3, a statement victory here to kick off the series. And Can I change my prediction every game? No? Okay.
No,
Cool.
Puckett, we've been over this. You do this a lot. You tip top back and forth. No, okay. Hold your position.
I will.
Okay.
I called Immortals at the start.
Yeah. Well, and look, hey, if it makes you feel any better, I do think that Immortals, like, depending on if they mix it up on Ascent, like what they end up doing, because now it's kind of like the Wild West out here. We have no idea what either of the, or not either, but excuse me, but what T1 is going to bring to the table on Ascent. There's a variety of different compositions that they could run with. I just think that Immortals, they just have a stronger base. Straight up, that's it.
Incredible coaching staff as well. Shout out to Packing10 and Gumbug, people we know from the Overwatch League, now putting a lot of their efforts into Valorant. We got to credit, though, T1 as well. They made the first move. They signed the first pro player in Valorant. He goes by the name of Brax.